sorry for the rush. I kind of lost track of time today watching one of my favorite movies, The Lion King. Now, I started watching it today because I got really excited with today's lesson. Can you guess the theme? So, today's theme is about the story of Daniel in the lion's den and the importance of prayer. Now, you can find this story in the Bible in Daniel chapter 6. This is Daniel. Daniel was a Jewish man who was taken to Babylon when he was very young. Daniel loved God and he followed God's rules, and he prayed to God 3 times a day and often asked him for help. Daniel served in the king's court for many years and under many kings. He always proved himself to be more capable than any other court official. Daniel was serving under King Darius, and because of his great abilities, the king made plans to make him in charge of the entire empire. The other court officials searched for some fault in Daniel, but they couldn't find anything wrong with him, because he was faithful, he was responsible, and he was completely trustworthy. So the court officials realized that the only way to get at Daniel would be to challenge his faith. So they went to King Darius and advised him to make a law that for the next 30 days, any person who prays to anyone other than King Darius will be thrown into the lion's den. So King Darius signed this law. And when Daniel learned of his law, he knelt down, like he always did, to pray in his room towards Jerusalem. And he prayed 3 times a day, just like he had always done, giving thanks to God and asking for his help. And the officials went to Daniel's house and found him praying. So they went to the king and reminded him of the law he signed and told him what they saw. When the king heard this, he was very upset. So he spent the whole day trying to think of a way to save Daniel. By that evening, the court officials came back to the king and reminded him that no law that was already signed could be ignored. So the king had to give the orders for Daniel to be thrown into the lion's den. The king said to him, "May your God, who you serve faithfully, rescue you." And then the lion's den was sealed shut with Daniel inside. The king spent the night fasting and he couldn't sleep. Then, very early in the morning, the king went to the lion's den and asked Daniel if his God was still able to rescue him from the lions. And Daniel answered him. He said that God has sent his angel to shut the lions' mouths so that they could not hurt him, because he was innocent in God's eyes. The king was so happy, so he ordered that Daniel will be taken out of the lion's den. Then the king ordered the men who had schemed against Daniel to be thrown into the lion's den as punishment. So Daniel was safe. There was not a single scratch on him because he trusted in God. So there can be lots of things going on in our lives that we cannot control, a bit like the coronavirus, or a bit like how Daniel couldn't control the law that the king brought against him in praying. But you know, Daniel never gave up praying. And there's a Bible verse in the New Testament that says, "Pray without ceasing." And now, more than ever, we need to remember to never give up praying, because prayer changes everything. So I have an idea of a craft that you can do to help you with prayer. You can rip up pieces of paper and put them in a jar and write on them things you'd like to pray for. Then you can fold them, put them back, and put the lid back on. And next time, when you're not really sure what to pray for, you can just take the lid off, pick something out at random, and you can pray for that. So a final thought. Prayer is really, really important, and prayer means that you also have to trust God. Pray without ceasing. Don't give up. And if you're not really sure what to pray for or how to pray, you can always try the teaspoon prayer, TSP. T for thank you. You can always thank God for something that you're thankful for. S for sorry. You can apologize for something that you think you've done wrong. And P for please. You can ask God for anything that you like. So that's today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.